She was the most enigmatic star Hollywood had ever known, a goddess who commanded millions at the box office, who made grown men weep with a single glance, who defined what it meant to be mysterious and untouchable. Then, at the height of her fame, at just 36 years old, Greta Garbo did something no one saw coming. She vanished. No farewell tour, no final bow, no explanation. One day, she was cinema's most celebrated icon. The next, she was gone, leaving behind only whispers and an empty soundstage. For over 4 decades, the world would wonder, why did the divine Garbo walk away from everything? Tonight, we uncover the truth behind Hollywood's greatest mystery. In the smoky theaters of 1920s America, when cinema was still finding its voice, a young Swedish woman named Greta Gustafsson stepped into the spotlight and changed everything forever. She didn't just act, she embodied desire itself. With cheekbones that could cut glass and eyes that held the secrets of 1,000 lifetimes, she became Greta Garbo, a name that would echo through eternity. But little did the world know, the woman who would become synonymous with glamour was born into crushing poverty. In Stockholm's working-class district, young Greta watched her father die of kidney disease when she was just 14. The family was left destitute, forcing her to work in a department store, lathering soap on wealthy women's faces in the barbershop section. Even then, something about her presence was different. Customers would stop mid-conversation, just to stare at her extraordinary face. It was here, among the mundane rituals of commerce, that destiny first whispered her name. A chance encounter with the film director led to a small role in a promotional film for the department store. The camera loved her instantly, capturing something indefinable that transcended the grainy black and white film stock of the era. She moved like poetry in motion, her every gesture deliberate yet seemingly effortless. By 19, director Moritz Stiller discovered her and transformed Greta Gustafsson into Greta Garbo. He saw in her not just beauty, but a profound melancholy that could speak to audiences without uttering a single word. Under his tutelage, she learned the craft that would make her immortal, the ability to convey entire universes of emotion, with nothing but a glance. The stage was set for a legend to be born, though none could predict the tragedy that would follow. When Garbo arrived in Hollywood in 1905, the industry was a different beast entirely. Silent films ruled supreme, and actors communicated through exaggerated expressions and theatrical gestures. But Garbo brought something revolutionary. While other actresses painted their emotions in broad strokes, she whispered hers through micro-expressions that spoke directly to the soul. Her first American film, The Torrent, established her as more than just another pretty face. Critics and audiences alike were mesmerized by her ability to convey complex emotions without saying a word. She didn't just play tragic heroines, she inhabited them so completely that the line between Greta Garbo, the actress, and the characters she portrayed began to blur. This wasn't just acting, it was alchemy. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer recognized they had lightning in a bottle. Studio head, Louis B. Mayer, known for his shrewd business sense, saw dollar signs in Garbo's mysterious allure. She was packaged and marketed as the divine Garbo, an otherworldly creature who existed beyond the realm of ordinary mortals. The studio crafted an image of inaccessibility that would both make and ultimately destroy her. Film after film, Garbo delivered performances that redefined what it meant to be a movie star. In Flesh and the Devil, she smoldered with such intensity that her on-screen romance with John Gilbert convinced audiences they were witnessing real love unfold before their eyes. The chemistry was palpable, electric, dangerous. Behind the scenes, whispers began to circulate about their off-camera relationship, adding fuel to the mystique that surrounded her every move. But even in those early days of triumph, those closest to her noticed something troubling. Between takes, when the cameras stopped rolling, a profound sadness would wash over her face. It was as if the very act of being watched, of being desired by millions, was slowly consuming the woman beneath the carefully constructed persona. The year 1929 brought seismic changes to Hollywood as the silent era gave way to talkies. Many careers died overnight as beautiful faces were betrayed by unsuitable voices. The entire industry held its breath, wondering if their most enigmatic star would survive the transition. Garbo herself was terrified, her thick Swedish accent, her deep, throaty voice. Everything about her seemed wrong for the new medium. MGM postponed her talking picture debut for months, carefully coaching her, refining her delivery, and most importantly, crafting the perfect vehicle for her voice. When Anna Christie finally premiered in 1930, the marketing campaign was simple but brilliant. Garbo talks. Those 2 words appeared on posters across the world, generating unprecedented anticipation. The moment arrived in a waterfront bar scene. Garbo, as the world-weary Anna, delivered her first spoken line. Gimme a whiskey, ginger ale on the side, and don't be stingy, baby. The deep, accented voice that she feared would end her career instead added new dimensions to her mystique. It was exotic, haunting, unlike anything audiences had ever heard from a leading lady. The film was a triumph, earning her an Academy Award nomination and proving that some stars transcend the medium itself. Her voice, far from being a liability, became another layer of her enigmatic appeal. It suggested depths unexplored, stories untold, a European sophistication that Hollywood desperately craved, yet those close to her noticed that success in the talkies brought new pressures. Every interview became a minefield where her accent might betray her foreign origins. Every public appearance was scrutinized for signs of the real woman beneath the carefully crafted image. The weight of constant performance was beginning to take its toll. Though the world remained oblivious to her growing exhaustion, the love affair between Greta Garbo and John Gilbert became Hollywood legend, a passionate romance that blazed across screens and front pages alike. Gilbert, the dashing leading man with smoldering eyes and a reputation as cinema's greatest lover, met his match in the enigmatic Swedish actress. Their on-screen chemistry was so intense, so palpable, that audiences couldn't tell where performance ended and reality began. Behind the velvet ropes of Hollywood's most exclusive parties, Garbo and Gilbert conducted a romance that seemed ripped from the very films they made together. He pursued her with the fervor of a man possessed, sending elaborate bouquets, writing passionate letters, and declaring his love with all the dramatic flair of a silent film hero. For a brief, shining moment, it seemed as though Garbo had found someone who could penetrate the walls she had built around her heart. Their relationship played out like a real-life movie, complete with passionate embraces, dramatic arguments, and reconciliations that set hearts racing. Gilbert proposed repeatedly, each time with growing desperation, sensing that the woman he loved was slipping away from him like sand through his fingers. The press devoured every morsel of their romance, turning private moments into public spectacle. But little did the world know that even in love, Garbo felt trapped by expectation. She confided to close friends that she never felt truly seen, only observed. Even Gilbert, for all his passion, seemed to be in love with the image rather than the woman. She began to withdraw, canceling social engagements, avoiding photographers, seeking solitude in a world that demanded constant visibility. The relationship's end was as dramatic as its beginning. Gilbert's career began to falter with the advent of talkies' high voice, unsuited to the romantic roles that had made him famous. As he struggled with alcoholism and professional decline, Garbo made the painful decision to distance herself. She would later say that watching someone you love destroy themselves is worse than any role she ever had to play. By the early 1930s, Greta Garbo had achieved something unprecedented in Hollywood. She had become larger than life itself. Her image graced magazine covers worldwide, her films broke box office records, and her every move was dissected by legions of fans and critics. She was, by every measure, the most successful actress in the world. Yet behind the glamorous facade, a different story was unfolding, one of a woman slowly suffocating under the weight of her own legend. The studio system of the 1930s was a machine designed to consume its stars, and Garbo was its most prized possession. MGM controlled every aspect of her life, from the roles she played, to the clothes she wore, to the interviews she gave. Louis B. Mayer treated his stars like valuable commodities, and Garbo was his most precious asset. She was contractually obligated to maintain her mysterious image, forbidden from appearing too accessible or ordinary. Every public appearance became a performance within a performance. Garbo couldn't simply go to a restaurant without it becoming front-page news. She couldn't express genuine emotions without them being analyzed and dissected by columnists and fan magazines. The woman who had mastered the art of conveying complex emotions on screen found herself unable to express her true feelings in real life. Friends from this period later revealed the toll this constant scrutiny was taking on her psyche. She would spend days in her dressing room between scenes, staring at herself in the mirror, as if trying to remember who she was beneath the car.